Welcome to the show. I'm Adam. That's Sarah.
Hi, Adam.
That's Ian.
I'm Ian.
We run this show called Wildly Uninteresting Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in the name, so if you're surprised at the end of this that you wasted a lot of your time,
You're
we
an
warned
idiot.
You,
Yeah.
and you're a fucking
I
idiot.
was thinking, let's insult them somehow.
Yeah. I'm always down.
It's your fault. You push play. Eat a dick.
It's like if a band put out an album called Half-Ass Work.
Yeah.
You know? It's like,
And then
this
they're
is
mad.
underwhelming.
Worse than the rest of them.
So,
Hey, man.
Yeah.
you had a show on Halloween.
Yeah.
How'd the Halloween show go?
It got cut short. We got paid in full.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it was fun because, you know, I was drinking cheaply, so I just bought a pint of vodka and dumped it in a carton of orange juice. And
That's the best way to do it, man.
I poured it out into a glass, and Austin was like, "Oh, it's actually orange juice in it." I was like, "Yeah, but is it?"
Yeah.
Yo,
That's
so
right.
actually, like, as I got older, I realized, because we used to go out all the time, really, and I would get, beer after beer after beer, and then always have these huge fucking alcohol tabs at, a restaurant or a bar or whatever.
Yeah.
Bars are a little bit better because we like hole-in-the-wall bars, but as I got older, I was
Those
like,
do help.
yeah, I was like, you know what? To hell with that. I'd probably just drink a lot before I go, or take something in my boot, or something. Some of that boot whiskey.
That's what I used to
That
get,
boot
those
booze.
little fireballs and put
Yeah.
them in my boot. I could even fit like a half pint in my
That
boot.
seems to be Gary's method.
Yeah, man.
Not in his boot, but he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna run to my car." I'll do that."
As you like
Be right
progress
back.
through life, you're like, how can I do this but save more money?
Yeah.
Everything's about
Not
saving a little
spend
bit more.
$50 on
It's like,
7
yeah, I want to go be
beers.
drunk among the people, but I don't want to spend $90.
Yeah, man.
Because it's ridiculous.
Makes you wonder
Yes.
how much they perpetuate alcohol sales, and they advertise alcohol and all that, knowing that alcohol itself is a drug. It's a
Yeah.
chemical drug. They don't do anything. Well, I guess I'm wrong about that because
Well, you haven't
pharmacy
said it, so I
companies,
can't judge you.
like pill companies, they
Oh,
have
yeah.
ads, right?
Yeah,
for
but
their product?
the difference is that our society accepts alcohol.
Yeah, with alcohol, you can say, "Get your friends together, let's have a good time for no reason."
Yeah.
But with drugs, it's like, well, do you suffer from this?
Yeah. Hey, I'll
Would
tell
you
you
also
something
like
that's
to
crazy.
maybe suffer from this?
Yeah.
In the beginning of my drug use, which it wasn't like big drug use at the time, it was like, hey, I want to do it like every other weekend
Gotta
or
start
something.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I
So
wanna
we
do
would do it
this
for
every
fun,
day.
Jumped in day one addict, baby.
But we were around a lot of people. We were around, the typical college person that likes to just get fucked up whenever they can on weekends, all that shit.
That is what college is for.
Yeah, well, what we used to do is I would always ask, like, yo, you know anybody get some pills? And every time I would ask, or it would be mentioned that I was taking a pill or I was high or some shit like that around these people, they would get truly angry
Yeah.
at the fact that I was doing, and they were like, we'll have none of that, and shunning me.
Were
for
they
the
wearing
fact
white belts and have X's on their hands?
Yeah,
Is that
a
what-
bunch of straight edge kids.
But they,
Did you not pick up on that?
and they never, it never dawned on them that they themselves had an issue with alcohol, and they had to have alcohol to have fun, but they didn't.
Well, look at all the things like in most of the people who are in America, most people associate holidays, football. I mean, they do,
Yeah.
seriously.
Basically,
Alcohol.
any sporting event at
Any
all.
sporting event with alcohol. Oh, it's 4th of July. Let's get drunk. I remember I got July 2nd is my sober birthday. And when I said that, people were like, oh, you stopped it like a big time. I can't believe it. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I've never gotten fucked up for the 4th of July, but like people do, not specifically for that reason.
What
Wait a second, I
happens,
don't
though.
remember if I have.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, well, I've absolutely been fucked up on the 4th of July, but not with like, oh, Independence Day, baby.
Not celebrating. It just happens to overlap.
Yes, yeah.
And with the type of friends we have, they're just a lot of like redneck, beer drinking, raw, boot
Yes.
wearing, cowboy hat
Boot
wearing.
wearing.
No,
Boot
but
lickers.
the thing was, like, there had been times in which we stopped. I just pretty much was like, yo, I'm done drinking when I go out, 'cause I'm tired of feeling bad the next day, and blah blah blah. So we just stopped drinking whatsoever. But the crazy thing about it was, is that I would look at her sometimes and be like, yo, I don't want to go out tonight because I don't want to feel pressured into drinking a beer or something. Because it made you feel like, man, you're looking forward to that. That was a way to self-medicate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the week was long and hard. Better get fucked up so I don't remember Saturday or Sunday.
Right.
And trudge back into this
My
stupid
life
company.
5 days a week is so miserable. I gotta get bombed.
Right. Yes.
Gotta get fucked up.
And I see the joy in it, but at the same time, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. You know, you ever come across like a motivational fucking line or something? They have a nice picture with a motivational line that really gets you by the boo-boo.
Gets you by the boo-boo.
Is that a front or back bit?
That's the back bit.
Okay.
Boo-boo. So I was listening to, or I passed one on Facebook, really got me. And this guy, it was actually a real long story. It was a motivational little story from a guy that was like, in our lifetime, most people's lifetimes, they work for 50 vacations, right? One vacation a year.
That's so true.
Yeah, they work for
Fucking
that.
sad, isn't it?
And they look forward to that 1 week or the 2 weeks that they get away from the life they have. And his thing was like, he loves traveling and everything, but he was like, I love coming home more than I do traveling. Traveling's a good experience, but my life is so good and I've built a good life at home that I look forward to coming home instead of going on vacation.
Yeah.
And it really brought to light that a lot of people's life, their day-to-day, is
just
so terrible.
Sucking it up to get through.
Yeah, man. It's they suffer in quiet desperation because they're like, man, if I could just get through this work week, we're gonna be beer drinking on Friday and Saturday night, and so they get away. And that's what I told her. I was like, that's the thing though. They perpetuate this fall in line, go to your company, shut your mouth. Do retirement, all that stuff. They perpetuate that from young age.
The get-go.
Yeah. It's easier to control a country if the people are predictable.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, all they want to do is get fucked up on the weekend after doing whatever all week? Great.
Great.
We've got the commercial for that.
Predictability is definitely a requirement for controlling, because otherwise, well, I guess it's not necessity for controlling,
it makes it easier.
but
It makes it
it
easier.
definitely makes it easier.
Yeah, I can see that.
The math that you were doing, with the 50 vacations, we're working on that. It made me think of, I was listening to Jordan Peterson the other day.
Yeah.
And he was doing he was talking about math and shit. And he was like, people don't like math. And then he started talking about his parents. And he's like, yeah, they're still alive. And I figure they've got a good, to be nice about it, we'll give them 10 years.
Yep.
If you visit them 2 or 3 times a year, you have 20 or 30 visits left.
Yeah.
And then they're dead.
That's
and
fucking
he got to the end of that
crazy.
and he goes, and that's math.
Yeah.
I was like, man, no wonder people hate it.
It's awesome.
No, it's so true, man. When you break things, you gotta I have to stay away from doing that because I'll get in a rabbit hole of like figuring out how much I have left to die and stuff. And a lot of people do that, like, oh, this would be the last coat of paint I put on the house, or this would be the last car I buy.
Aren't they happy about the coat of paint though?
Oh,
That's
I'm truly
what-
happy about a new
This
coat
is
of
what I've
paint.
been looking forward to my whole life.
When mom and dad were going to buy their the car, not the one that you have, but the car, that's what mom said. She said, well, this is going to be my last vehicle that I'll ever drive, so I want it to be exactly what I want.
Maybe don't flip it and you'll
I
be able
know.
to buy a new one.
Yeah.
No, that just scares me, and that's what I told her. I was like, since we've been taught from a young age to, get in line and, do what you're supposed to and do
Queue
it that
up.
way. Like, how the hell, like, so it's hard, like, right now, while I'm doing the own company thing and figuring out my own way, like, we're going to create videos and do all that and this podcast and stuff, try to make money that way because,
Content and electricity.
yeah, I'd rather do
That's right.
something that, I'm truly happy with and I actually enjoy more than going on a vacation because, but we've been taught to not do it. We've been taught to go to a company, do what you're supposed to and stuff like that. So most people don't even think it's a reality. Some people, a lot of people are making money at it right now, but they just kind of like, oh shit, I can actually make money with it. Like, I didn't know that. Like they fell into it. But you can actually go and
That seems
make
to be
money
the kind of thing that's kind of ingrained in us from an early age. Like if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're probably not going to make any money at it.
Yeah.
Right.
'Cause, you know, and I've heard people say many times, "Oh, they call it work for a reason."
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
like, I hate being here. Oh, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Yeah, you don't have to hate your fucking job.
Yeah, and then,
And
and then
people are-
people like if you enjoy it, then they're like, well, you're doing it wrong. Here,
Yeah.
go do this.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yes.
And also, people will down the shit out of you for wanting to do something outside the box. Like, I don't want to do something that I don't want to be. What I call it today. I don't want to be the norm.
bitch?
I don't want to be. You know what I
God,
mean?
I don't remember the word.
But most people will look at you and talk down to you and down about you for trying to go outside the box. And then there's another type of person that will like smile and cheer you on because in their mind they're like, I know he's gonna fail,
Motherfucker's gonna fail.
and I'm gonna
Yeah.
be right here to watch him fail.
That's right.
But I think the
I've
people,
done that.
I think you can actually go forward.
You're part of the problem.
I would definitely like to build a
Complex.
life that's not the same. You know, it's different. It's outside the box. Nobody did it this way. I don't want to be the norm. You know what I mean? I don't want to do the normal shit. Like, I want to burn stuff and blow shit up and make money, you know?
I was looking at job availability, like in the area for someone, and like looking at the jobs that are out there. I was like, oh my God, this shit fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want a different job. I don't want to have to ever look for a job. I don't want to work for any of these places. That's all I could think when I was looking at this shit is, oh my God, this is all these are terrible options. And
It's a depressing field.
yeah,
Well,
unless
I think any field is a depressing. If you're not working for yourself.
Oh yeah, sorry, I meant like
Yeah.
field, like the whole work.
yeah, all of
field
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I wasn't clear on that.
No, but
That's what I
Yes.
fucking meant.
Yeah.
Get in my head too, damn it.
But it's just terrible that that's what people have. Like, luckily, I like the job that I have, and that doesn't happen for a lot of people. It's really awful because I am inside the box. It just so happens that it's something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
You just happened to get there from being far outside the box.
oh yeah, hell yeah. I was way outside the
All
box.
the shit I picked up in the wild, I'm back.
Yeah, hell yes. I just get to live my outside the box life inside the box.
Hell yeah.
Not under the influence. So
Hey guys, I brought some cute decorations.
this is my contribution. But it would
Those are
be
the coolest
terrible.
people, though. I love people that like have had the fucked up shit outside the box,
Mm-hmm.
and then they come back and they're all well-rounded and,
Yeah.
and helpful and shit.
Yes.
But you know that they've got that fucked up part of themselves.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hell yes. I have found that it does help a whole lot because even inside the box, I would say I'm unorthodox in terms of how I do things.
Yeah.
Like, that's why
Yeah.
I'm well received, or at least I think I am. By what I've been told, I'm well received in my job.
Until a really higher up is having a shitty day, and they're like, just queue up.
Yeah.
Just do what we want. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Yes.
unorthodox is the word I was looking for.
Yeah. I got you.
Thought about it while you were doing it.
Unorthodox. Yeah.
I want to make money in a very unorthodox way. You know what I mean? I want to do something that when I wake up in the morning, like I'm doing it already, but making money at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with the video ideals and shit like that, and that like the car blog or whatever we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
It's a vlog.
I was gonna say I hate saying that word, man. It makes me feel weird on the inside.
It could be a
Like
clog,
vlog,
a car
clog.
blog. It's a clog.
We'll go with
Yes.
blog.
Yeah.
Clog's fun. I
I
like
like
that.
that.
Oh.
But I don't want to be orthodox in that sense, just because, like, I worked for a company one time where I'd come in and I'd be completely out there, come in yelling or singing. I put a subwoofer in my work truck just to be different.
Yeah.
Find any way to be different in what you do, and that's what I want. I want to be unorthodox. I don't want to do it like everybody else.
It's the search to personalize something rather than just be like
Right.
everybody else.
Everybody, and
That's right.
I'm scared to fail, but then again, like I told her, I was like, if I fail, I still don't want to go back. I just want to try something a different way
Yeah.
and fail again. Like right now it's not in my head that I could ever go back to doing something normal
Well,
again.
you can't. You won't. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no,
You'll be
it's not
fine.
gonna happen.
God.
Yeah.
Don't be a negative Nancy.
Relax. Don't yell at my
So-
man.
I just wanted to yell for a minute.
Look,
It had nothing to do with
Orthodox.
him.
They got the Orthodox.
That's awesome
Jew
because
shit.
every time I hear the word unorthodox, I immediately picture the Hasidic Jews.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're Orthodox.
Yes. Look, Orthodox.
Nice word association.
Yes.
Orthodox.
Yeah. That's the best duck I can draw is an S with a beak. So it's all
Good
I
ass
got.
duck, though.
Yeah, man. So
Yes.
that's how life goes. Though it caught me off guard though when you read something like that and you look back and it's like, damn, dude, I don't want to do that. And I think a lot of people, that's what you're what.
The guy that that thinks outside the box. That guy that you guys were talking about, the McCamey Manor guy or whatnot,
Yeah.
the dude that tortures the people.
Yeah.
I read up a little bit on that, and I saw that
yes.
they've got like 80,000 signatures or whatever to like
the
shut
wait
him
list.
down.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, dude,
Wow.
people are up in arms. They're like, "Oh, this isn't a haunted house. This is just a torture factory."
But
And it's
people
like,
sign up
well,
for
yeah,
it.
that exactly.
Knowing.
That, yeah. That's
Wow.
fine.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Does
You
it?
think they're going to be able to shut them down?
No.
I don't think so.
least not
well,
yet.
it's if he's
Give it
got
2
all
years.
the legal documentation, like he's gone, it's like the way it's supposed to be done, and people are consenting, which he has videotape of, and they sign, and then everything is videotaped as it's going on, and he stops
So-
when they say stop. You can't make him stop.
So let's
do you
put
know
it
what
this way,
the
though.
safe word is? It's not a safe word, but it's like,
Yeah, they have something that they say whenever they're done.
yeah, it's like you really don't want to do this
I really
or
don't
some
wanna
shit.
do this,
Uh-huh,
yeah.
yeah.
That makes it nice.
Yeah.
The talking about that though, even in a non-sexual way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to you about this about prison, right? And a non-sexual,
nothing non-sexual
non-arousing
about prison.
thing.
Absolutely right.
Some people want to be pushed to that brink. Like some
Yes.
people need that in
Yeah.
their life to shake things up or to keep them on a track of
Mm-hmm.
like doing the unnormal things.
Yeah.
You need to be brought to that level of excitement and
That's why
fear.
people go skydiving and
Same
walk
thing.
on tight ropes across mountains with
And you know
no
what they
net.
do? They
Yeah.
sign a waiver saying they'll
Sounds
do
so
it,
disappointed in them.
knowing
They're
that
crazy.
they'll break their neck or get a black eye,
Yeah.
broken arm. They
Fucking
know that.
die. Yeah.
It's the same thing, but the dude is doing it to him, and he gives them a way out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, what are y'all bitching about?
They're just upset because they don't agree with
A
it.
bunch of soft ass pussies.
Yeah, they're a bunch of little bitches.
Yeah. See,
Mm-hmm.
See?
but
We don't take kindly to bitches.
Y'all motherfuckers be bitches.
yeah, okay. But I don't know. I think I'd be down with that as far as like signing up for a fight or something. Like remember I tried to make a
Mm-hmm.
video a while back and I couldn't find nobody to do it because I had
Oh, yeah.
contacted actual fighters and stuff that I knew that were on my Facebook, and I was like, yo, I want to make a video where you just completely beat the shit out of me. Like
Yeah.
let's engage in a fight, but like I won't really fight back.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to be hit a few times. That's like I
I'll do that with
contacted.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
I'll
I
do it.
won't.
I contacted.
I'd feel bad. The first punch, I'd be like, aha, this
I'm
is
so
funny.
sorry, man.
I contacted a few companies about like 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? And my idea was because I didn't want to lose any knowledge as a master electrician, because there's different fields. There's industrial, residential, and construction. I didn't want to lose like my construction background, so I was like, I'll go work for them for free, right? Like everybody was like, people probably won't buy into that. I'm like, I'm offering to work for free,
Yeah.
and they
Just
were
so
like,
I
they probably
can-
won't do
Thought
that.
You're internalizing it, so does intern maybe have to do with internalizing? It's like, hey, you're not getting paid, but you can internalize it.
Yeah,
I
I just
don't
want
know,
the
probably
knowledge.
not.
No, but I wanted it for the knowledge and
Shut
to
up.
not lose it. And a bunch of people were like, "Oh, it probably won't work. Probably won't work." But it was to gain, to gain that knowledge.
Just to
and,
keep
and
going
people
with the
didn't-
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people didn't want to do it. So that's the same with like trying to get the fighters to do it and stuff like that. Everybody's, oh no, that's not. You got to go and train for, 5 years, and then you can come in the ring. Like, dude, just beat the shit out of me. Like, I'll
Yeah.
give you $50.
We might be able to. Man, I was gonna say give Zach $20 and he might do it.
Yeah.
Well,
and then you throw out 50. So, you know,
We'll meet
hey,
in the
Zach,
middle.
if you want to do it for 35, give us a call.
I was gonna
man.
say meet in the middle with 20. You know.
But
Just go and punch him a few times.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
crazy though what people are unwilling to do, essentially. Like, I can understand, like, you would have to contact the right person if you want to just fight to fight. You'd have to come across the right person,
Yeah.
but
Because I can see questioning it, because who knows if he's just going to turn around and press charges.
right.
It's like, whoa, I want this in writing.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like, let me be videotaped consenting
we
to
were going
this
to
shit.
provide a contract and all that.
Yeah.
And these places were just like, oh, they were afraid that I would take their workers. Like, yo, I'm one guy company that works mostly residential. I'm not going to take your guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's all this
But I'm
like
going to
little,
take you guys.
like little fucking red tape, and it's just. It goes back to the not doing it normal. Like, I don't want to do things normal. That wouldn't be normal. I'd be like, yo, I want to do free work just so I don't lose the knowledge. That's enough payment for me to do that, you know?
You should slowly bring on a homeless person.
Fuck that.
Bring in a homeless guy and say, all right, I'm going to clean you up and teach you skills. You will be, what is that word?
Apprentice.
Yeah.
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 Gotcha.
You will be my apprentice.
Man, no.
And you won't steal my shit, and you will also wash yourself.
that new study showing that, like, even very capable homeless people, and they were offering them, like, to pick up trash and stuff for, like, $15 an hour. They would tell them no, they didn't want to do that because it has anything to do with work. They don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
They would rather just beg for the money and or not have any and not be connected to anything.
I can weather
can
the
feel that,
elements, but
though.
I'm not picking up
yeah.
shit.
I
Yeah.
can feel not being connected to a company for somebody being like, you got to do this way all the time. If you step out of line, you'll be reprimanded.
My way's better.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No.
Get off your high horse.
Shut that down.
It's a very trash way to do life, man. Like, to listen to somebody else tell you how you need to do your life. I can feel, I can see where homeless people get the
Yeah, I
mindset.
see the appeal.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they would live in cities that aren't in the South.
Like, why wouldn't
Right.
you go to the beach?
Yeah, go to the beach.
And
Who wants to be homeless in Detroit?
yeah, no one.
Retarded.
I promise.
Clearly, everybody. Every stop sign I went to.
Well, my
Yes.
thing is, eventually you go, because there's massive amounts of land that don't have people dwelling on them, or a lot of people dwelling on them.
Man, so we need like the new Indians.
They
Yeah.
might
We
be
just need to
afraid
migrate to that.
Yeah.
This is ours now.
They might be afraid to
Definitely get
travel,
killed, though.
but I feel like it wouldn't take as long as you think it would
Everybody's
to
dying,
walk to
bitch.
Florida from like Kentucky or
Well, no.
Detroit. It wouldn't take that long.
And even
Even
if
if it did,
so,
who gives a
yeah,
fuck?
you don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, what do you have to get back
No, I'm
to?
saying like
Yeah.
if they're afraid along the journey to starve in those barren lands where there's not a lot of people dwelling,
Right.
maybe they're afraid of that.
There's like a
it's
dead
just
road runner
fear.
on the side of the road. It'd be fine.
That's what I'm
Learn
saying.
how to start a fire, cook
But
trash.
people don't. I'm sure they don't know how to kill anything or eat it or strip it of its meat or anything. But they definitely need to do that. I would, if I was homeless, I'd definitely be in California, Florida. That's probably about
Maybe
it.
Texas.
Maybe though. Do
I
they have
doubt
a beach
it, but
somewhere?
maybe. I feel like on the right side, there's a little bit.
Just a little bit of.
You get a little bit
on
of the Gulf. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd probably, but I'm down with that. Like, if I'm homeless, I'm going somewhere that I want to be in my heart. Like, I want to be there.
Where is that one place? Where's the place? It's like there are no laws and shit. It's like a shanty town. The people of
Oh,
built up.
that's in
Where the hell is
the
that?
ocean.
It's not. I don't think it's in Nevada. Isn't Nevada the name of the state? That's terrible to say.
Yes.
Yeah. It's in Nevada. It's in the.
Delaware is a state.
Oh shit! It might be in
Yeah.
Arizona. I just looked that up though. It's a section of things. And they have like broken down buses and stuff and art and where these people come and they just like. And it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place though.
It'd be kind of cool to start something like that in
Yeah.
Wyoming, probably.
Well, see, that's what I told her is that we wanted enough money in life to buy a certain section of land, which like 200 acres would be ideal, right? 200 acres.
Who needs that much fucking land?
Well, see, you got to
If
listen
you
to the rest of
listen
the
to
story.
the whole thing,
no, he needs
goddamn.
to talk faster. I'll listen.
You it's like that place in Canada. It was right up there in Canada where they whatever. Like there's a bunch of people dwelling on this. It was only 18 acres. And they help each other. They survive together.
like in the
there are
woods
no
and
lands.
shit.
There's no electricity. There's no running water. None of that. But they take
Hi,
care of
welcome
each
to
other.
no man's land.
Yeah.
It's
We're all
called,
women here.
Pool's Place. Pooles. Pool's Place.
Yeah.
Look that up, dude. That's what I want to run. But like we pay, and then all we got to do is make enough money to pay the taxes on the land. Is it?
I'm trying to look up this shantytown shit in America, but I don't know how to search for that. I don't know.
Lawless western
in-
shanty town.
It's in Arizona or Nevada.
see.
It's in a desert, so you really wouldn't want to go there and like chill out. Oh yeah.
Wouldn't you? Ladies and
I would.
gentlemen,
I'd
the
like to go
Kool-Aid, man.
at least look at it, man.
Yeah. I feel like it would fit with your sensibilities.
Yeah.
Until somebody went over a line. Although it doesn't seem like they would.
I feel like even like if we bought 200 and something acres, in my background in electricity, and we could set up like a solar deal and a battery bank and have some inverters, and we could still have a little bit of power, even if it's not a lot, but just enough for lights, maybe a fan when you go to sleep. And there's a way to cool your house down too. We saw on this survival thing, I forgot what it was called. It's where the people prepare for the end of days.
Doomsday preppers?
Doomsday preppers, man. And it's like a 2 or 3 inch pipe they run far underground, and then they pull the air with like a little DC motor. They pull the air out of that tube from underground. It's a long thing. So what it does is take the hot air all the way underground, like, very far. I don't know, 25 feet. Does that sound right? Maybe 25 feet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And they draw that air into their home, and it's a steady 65 degrees all the time.
Hell yeah.
When you pull the air through the 25 foot down. So
I think
there's ways to
that
cool
sounds
your
right.
That got me
shit.
thinking of the idea of where people build their homes into like a hill or whatever.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And that
too.
shit, because it's like, it naturally keeps it cool. And so, but, how would you get past worms just popping up?
I'm sure there's a place like how you waterproof it and stuff. There's a way to do that. Because worms wouldn't find their way through concrete. So I think you'd be fine. And then you
I
just seal it
imagine
real good.
not using concrete. It's just like, here's my dirt floor.
No, that would be terrible.
No, it probably would be.
No,
I
you
look
know
at you
what?
judgmentally, but you're probably right.
We looked up making building a home out of shipping containers, right?
Hell
really
yeah.
good idea, man. We still want to do it, but if you took
Seen
and dug
some
out
sweet
trenches
places.
and put the shipping containers underground, then you wouldn't have to worry about sealing because they're already sealed off.
And you wouldn't have to buy a coffin when you die.
Exactly.
man, you just
set for life and
lay
death.
down and go to sleep.
Yeah. Lay
Yeah,
down
dude.
and go to sleep. Done.
It'd be worth it. Just you just have to find a way to spend the least amount of money to the government. Like anything I can do not to pay you to be alive.
Of course,
I know.
we know though how that goes. We've seen stories of it where they come
what,
and
you're
they,
off the grid now. We're just gonna this is taxed now.
Yep.
But what?
yeah,
There was
we're gonna lock you up because you're not, using our water. You're doing it this way.
You got too far ahead of us. Come on back now.
Yeah.
there was a
You want a
soldier.
box? We got a box for that ass.
There was a soldier in
Ass
Tennessee that came back. He put a trailer on like a couple acres. I think it was like 10 acres. He put a trailer down. He did a solar system. He had water rain collection, all that. He pretty much, he
did
didn't use
everything
any
himself.
electric, no gas, no water, nothing from the state. And they were going to come in and kick him out, evict him, because they said it was unsafe living conditions. When he was healthy, fine. His wife was healthy. They were happy. They were going to come in and kick him. Same thing with the family that got locked up when they were living off grid.
Unsafe living conditions, but fuck your water, Michigan.
They
Yeah,
they lived like in the mountains essentially and had kids and everybody was happy and healthy.
4 or 5 kids.
and-
Like, they had a
Hobbit
bunch.
people.
Yeah.
And they were happy, dude.
Oh yeah, and they took their kids away. They had to go to court over it for them to
They were in Indiana.
gain their kids
What
back.
the fuck? So how did the Amish get away with shit?
They're not
well,
allowed to
they're
say
not.
anything because that's religion.
Yeah, that's a part of their religion. So
We'll just
yeah.
make everything about religion then.
Yeah. They would seriously, if
What do the Amish probably just pay for? Well, they might not pay for anything being as a religion,
Well,
but
I think they
pay
they
for
govern themselves essentially, which I
Yeah.
know they would still have to pay
like taxes on the land and stuff.
But
Maybe in
Unless
the
they
buildings.
consider their home their church.
interesting.
Then you can get around that shit.
Yes.
Everybody's
Yeah.
home should be a church then. That's what
Because God's everywhere,
I-
so
I did-
fucking call it a day.
I went down a rabbit hole of looking at videos
I mean,
that were
sex pits are church.
looking at videos that were against
That's right.
Yeah, get
the
it.
church is not being taxed. And man, you'll get lost in that. It just makes no sense to me. They don't get taxed whatsoever. And the pastors that have a home that's on the church's property, they don't get charged for property tax. They don't get charged for the home. They don't get charged tax for nothing. I need that in my life. Like, how is that still a thing in the
Who gives a
21st
shit?
century?
Let's go get whatever paperwork we need.
Yeah, I
Let's
think we
get,
could
let's
actually
get us a
do it.
flock, boy.
I
If
printed out all this
Scientology
stuff.
could do it, we can do it.
Right. I printed out all the stuff on how to start a church, like legally and everything, and how
Yeah.
to. Essentially, I also printed out stuff of how you can like legally use DMT because it's for religious reasons
Yeah.
and stuff.
Let's go ask that shaman bloke.
Yeah. Yes, because that one that lives down the street.
No, there's one in Kentucky.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
that guy.
Yeah.
It's essentially down the street. Kentucky's just one
Yeah.
big road.
Didn't that guy get in trouble? I think they shut that place down.
Well,
What the fuck?
I think they shut his church down, but he does it at his home. I don't know. He still does it because he's on TV.
Of course.
But
The show must go on.
yeah, you can't be like, yo, I'm doing this illegally, but I got a TV show.
If he's still on TV, then it wasn't him that they shut down.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day. This is unrelated. I mean, it's kind of related,
It's
but
okay.
it's something made me think of it, and I don't want to forget. But I saw this video of this Juggalo. He was standing on a picnic table in his backyard, and he was like, "This is for the Juggalos and the Juggalettes, whoop whoop!" And he elbow dropped a microwave. As soon as he hits it, like he puts a big dent in it, but he's laying on the ground.
Oh,
He's like,
shit.
he's fucked up, man. But
I
it was
would
gold.
like to watch that. He had to have broken something.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
He
it
had
sounds
to.
awful.
Somebody was making a
Fucking
case
great.
for like, and we want Medicare for free health care for everybody, but people are doing this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but it's a small price to pay for that kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely
and
entertaining.
you can't tell people what they can and cannot do. Like, not stuff like that. They can.
Yeah, you can't give them health care and then govern
Yeah.
how they live their life based
You
on
give them
what
food
healthcare
stamps
is.
and tell them they have to spend it on food.
Yeah, man.
Food.
I don't know if you
stamps.
go into the
Well, I
store and
guess,
see
yeah.
the people do it, but
Yes.
there's a shitload of people. Every time you go in a Circle K, there's somebody using food stamps to buy like energy drinks and
Gummy
chips
bears.
and gummy bears and shit. Like, this is for you to survive.
It's all
not
consumables.
fucking,
Hey, some people get by on Monster.
well, I
Yeah.
fucking drink shit out of Monster, but I would die if that's the only thing I got.
One time I let
Yeah.
somebody use food stamps to buy scratch-off tickets.
Yeah, man. I went to Cincinnati
awesome.
and a guy that was rooming in the same place as us, like, you could go to this gas station, right? And the guy would, quote unquote, like, charge you for stuff, but like give you money back at an actual store. And it blew me away. I'm like, and they would take pretty much all of them. I'm like, so you get all this food, and then by the end of the month, you're like, I ain't got no money for food. Like, that's your fault.
Yes.
You fucking used
At that
it all.
point,
on
fuck
there.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get why people would do that anyway. Like, the gas station is clearly the most expensive place to buy food. Why
Oh, I
would
know.
you not go to a grocery store?
But that could explain the mentality that leads to needing government
Yeah.
assistance. Oh,
Well,
you're too
yeah.
fucking stupid to price compare?
Yeah.
Great.
It's
That's
like, even
what
if
it-
you want to live on gummy bears and Monster,
If
buy
you
it
look
at Kroger.
if you look at the people that are on like EBT and stuff, the intelligence level and the social standard wherever they live is not high. Like their IQ wherever they're at
Right.
is not high whatsoever. They don't money manage. They're on EBT.
Yeah.
They have no deductive
Rough
reasoning.
living conditions can lower IQ.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Well, and it comes down to stress. I mean,
Being in survival mode all the time
Yeah.
instead of
if
trying
you
to-
don't feel safe and secure wherever you live, your stress level is definitely going to be increased, and stress impacts every part of the body and brain. So
A little bit of stress is cool, but too much is stupid.
yeah, a little bit can be good for you. It can drive you to do whatever you need to do. A lot can fucking kill you. So
Plus, a little is it's helpful with memory.
yeah,
Yeah.
A little bit of stress.
but too much actually impairs your memory and your ability to
Do
concentrate.
you think it's possible to live
No.
a stress-free life? You know how it's always like you see on Google and shit, and it's like living a stress-free, 7 tips to. Do you think it's actually possible to live no stress whatsoever?
Yeah,
Like you go to work, no stress, you come home, no stress.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nothing.
rough, but yeah.
You think so? You think you would stress out about living a stress-free life?
I know.
Everything's
I
too good.
It would, it all comes down to the person, their personality, and your perspective. You can definitely be stress free. You
I
just
think
have
perspective has a lot
Yeah.
to do with it.
You have to
Like what you
choose.
perceive as stressful or not.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
should have, it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to
How you
it.
react
Right.
to it.
If you can react to things in a healthy way all the time, then great.
Mm.
But then when do you go from being stress-free and relaxed to just being a zombie?
to,
Yeah.
right. Because there are some people who it doesn't matter what happens, they take it in stride and just move on. And there are other
Yeah, man.
people who are like, my second toe's longer than the rest, and I can't handle it.
I
Like,
can't get over it.
Yeah.
That's Jordan Peterson says that there are no good and bad situations. They're just situations, and however you perceive it, you're making it what it is.
Yeah.
The world isn't making it anything.
Right.
You're making it. Like you have to perceive good, bad, stressful, relaxing. You perceive that. The world doesn't give it to you.
Right. Well,
When you look at it that way, it's like, holy shit, like you could change all it. But that's one thing that's very hard because we've been trying to do it or, help me do it. And
Yeah, 'cause she doesn't give a fuck.
no, she like cares about nothing. Like there's not a stress bone in her body. And I was like, how do you do that? Me, I'm always like thinking what other people are thinking and thinking too much and like, what am I doing in life and where am I going? I'm always like level 10 stress level. But we've been trying to help me get away from that because I'm perceiving
Just fuck
everything as
that.
bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not actually bad. You can make any situation good,
Right.
even if it's terrible.
I can relate to your stress levels, but at the same time, I know it's stupid.
right.
Yeah.
It's helpful to a degree because
But it's hard to.
Yeah, I used to
Alright.
stress
How do you
about a
shut
lot
that
of shit. I
down?
mean, I still stress about shit because some things are just stress-inducing.
Yeah.
But I try to maintain a healthy level of it because it is good to be critical of yourself. That way you don't slide down into a pool of crap.
Right.
But
Yeah.
too much is stupid.
That's,
Find your balance, buddy.
I know we had talked about that before. It's just where I
Aw.
overthink things and I get inside my head and then I create this situation that should never have been this big of a situation, but I've created it personally,
Yes.
and those are things that it's hard to deal with. You know what I mean? I commend people who don't have that. Sarah doesn't have that.
No.
She gets stressed, but very, very, very
So there's
few and
gonna
far
be
between.
a lot of shit going on for me to be stressed out.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you've got to realize that all of the shitty scenarios you envisioned probably didn't come to actually be. Mm-hmm. So you get stressed for no reason.
Hell yeah. Well, and a good little thing that you can do, but I mean, it takes, like most things in life, it takes practice, is look at what can you control and what can you not control. The things that you control, okay, take care of that shit, make changes, and get it gone. The other stuff that you cannot control,
Serenity now.
yeah, be done with it because you can't control it. So worrying about stuff doesn't do anything. You can't fix it, so there's nothing you can do. The stress doesn't do anything except impact your health and your mental state.
What do you think a roller coaster would be like if there was like a voting system, like as you go and it's set up like a train tracks where you can like switch courses? It's like, are we going to do the loop-de-loop or are we going to do the corkscrew?
Oh, it's like the
how do you think
books
people
where you
would do
can
with
choose
that?
your own route.
Yeah.
Do you think people would eventually turn on each other? You son of a bitch! I saw what you picked. You think I didn't want to do a loop?
So
no
would
matter
it have
what,
to be?
they would turn on each other. for
Would it
sure.
have to be like everyone agrees, like it's unanimous? This is what we're doing, or is
They
it
just
majority?
tally majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it would be fine.
Choice coming up in 3, 2.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
No, I think that would go just
And they
fine.
had to put up signs where it's like, no yelling at each other. You didn't like the choice, ride it again.
Yeah. Ooh,
I like
that'd
the,
be neat because it could be a different ride every single time.
Indeed.
Well, not
Yeah,
every time.
well.
Only worrying about the things that you
At
can
least
control
7 times.
is
Yeah.
probably the most helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of things I'm so sad about that you can't do nothing about.
Yeah.
When I was in prison, a guy looked at me and I was everything. It felt like everything was just crashing down around me. You know, my first wife was leaving me, and I'm just fucking like, well,
That bitch.
she was
fuck that cunt.
yeah. But the chaplain contacted me and was talking to me before I got out, and so he said, he was like, okay, being in prison is like watching your home that you've lived in for 30 years burn to the ground, and you can't do nothing about it. He was like, you just have to watch it burn. So pretty much when you get those situations that you can't do nothing about, just let it burn.
Yeah.
It's, you can't do anything. Just go ahead and let it burn.
It's definitely something that can be learned for sure, but it takes a lot of practice. It's something you would have to do it every single day, and you have to be aware of it. I mean, the fact that like you are more aware of your good qualities and bad qualities than anybody I've ever met in my life. So that's the first step, is just being aware. At that point, then every time you have a behavior, you notice it and then correct it. You just have to, eventually you won't have to notice it because you'll automatically do that more positive
I would
thing.
like to be those type of people that just think like their shit's the best, no matter, even if they're fucking
those
terrible.
God,
I
I
like
hate
to-
them.
Such a better life, though.
Like
Yeah,
I
it'd have to be until you fail miserably. And
I
you make
accidentally
excuses.
watched the
God, I hate those
interview
cocksuckers.
with Lil Uzi Vert, and he was on.
Why does this guy continue
I
to
don't
come
know.
up in our
He
conversation?
was.
I'm
He was.
sucking
I
his
accidentally
dick.
watched his videos, and he just pops up because I watch people freestyle and stuff. And he was on some morning show where he was freestyling. He wasn't freestyling. He was terrible. And then the guy was like, "Oh, you're
it
never going to
doesn't
be a
matter.
great." And he was like, "You don't know. This is where the music's going."
No,
and he was
it's
like,
not.
"You're not saying anything. You're like mumbling some stupid stuff."
I have crayon and got crayon and my
That's it.
man palm.
Crayon spray on mom.
I don't even think he was actually rhyming and shit. It just blew me away because people like that are fucking terrible. Now
Acid-colored Skittles.
you can be famous for being terrible. Like that Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah, that's exactly who I thought of.
Yeah, you can be completely famous and make some
See,
serious money
that,
by doing
I feel
that.
like she's representative of more of the population than we would like to accept.
No, I
Yeah.
know that's
I
See
agree.
a bitch like that, and it's like, well, there are like 5 in every neighborhood,
and think about
They're
those are
everywhere.
the people that
except
are
maybe in
spending
Connecticut.
food stamps and stuff. Those are people with
No,
food
Connecticut's
stamps.
fun too.
But no,
Well-
it accidentally came across it. But I'd like to be that person that like just puts out all this random shit and doesn't even judge it. Just like it's fucking gold every time.
Every time.
Don't even care.
This is my best video yet.
Everybody tells me it's bad. Fucking do it. Hey,
Look,
that,
Nah, man,
you
fuck
should
'em.
just,
Here's my new joint.
yeah, drop
even
it.
though you don't think that way, you should just act that way.
Yeah, it's hard though.
Fake it till you make it.
But yeah, put that shit online, even though you're like, oh shit, this sucks. Oh
I
my
don't wanna
god, I
be-
hate this.
I don't want to
Like,
be caught up in one of them compilations of. I've been fucking getting down with these.
What about the snake guy?
They're called TikTok compilations. If you get a chance, they got a cringe one. They got all these different ones, man. And they're these people, I guess, they get the app, right? And it's meant for people to showcase their talents and stuff. And it's fucking cringeworthy for sure. It's hard to look away from it. That's why it's so addicting to watch these people that are just absolute. They're like the bottom feeders, just like trying to
yes.
put stuff out. It's like, who made you? Like, because I want to punch them in the face.
yes.
Who
Yes.
created you?
Fucking awesome, though.
You gotta. It makes you wonder. Some of those people you see in Walmart, you want to see their genetic line
Oh,
to
yeah.
see when it started going downhill and how long it took it to get
Well, that's
to
what
you.
happened when you fuck your sibling, like
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over again. That's what happens. You remember the Siegfried and Roy thing that we watched with the white tigers? They were breeding brother and sister, and
Oh,
eventually,
to get this one white tiger.
yeah, eventually their genetics became so bad that like their their noses
Yeah.
would be crunched up and their eyes were
Cross-eyed.
crossed, and
So
They had the-
apparently,
yeah.
we learned that all white tigers stem from one
one.
original white tiger. And then they just started, they kept copying off of that. And Siegfried and Roy were like, we don't do that. We don't breed that way. I'm like, yeah, you do. You just split them. They, further brother and sisters.
But you know what? Like, if you looked at theirs versus the
others,
theirs were beautiful, had no deficits or anything. Like, clearly, no, you're fine. Clearly, they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. I know. Because they were beautiful and healthy as opposed to the others.
Yeah, but I mean, can't we just assume, though, that it's because they're working magic on the tigers?
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's but no, you look at people like that and it's just it's mind-boggling. But we love looking at it, and that's the good thing about the internet is that we're all connected that way socially, and it's just like I want to be that just dumb. I want to be that dumb to where I'm just like put everything in anything. But that's what I told her. I wouldn't want to be famous for something that's terrible. Because say you put out these dumb videos and one hits, right? One hits, it goes viral and you start making money off of it. But here's the key. For the rest of your life, you're known as the guy that accidentally put his nose in an asshole and then got shit on.
Who accidentally does that?
I don't know. Look it up. It's probably a thing.
Life happens.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, you're known as the guy that, just think of anybody you know that's famous. Like, you're known as the Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
You can't be nothing else but that.
But there's this
skinny dude and that big necked dude.
Yeah. Amir King is the Chevy. Oh yeah, long neck and whatever the other one. No neck and long neck.
Yeah.
That you're known as that for the rest of your life.
Like the beauty though, like it's awful, but it's also the beauty of the world now. It's set up for people who want to do stuff outside of the box. It makes it easier for you to be able to do what you want. You just have to continue to do it. And
you could do it on the internet instead of on a traveling freak circus.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually if you just keep posting stuff. You just have to use it to your advantage and use the fact that you're not a complete fucking idiot and get famous off that.
Unless you are a complete fucking idiot, then embrace it.
Yeah, and get famous off that.
Shit.
Remember we watched that thing?
We're not famous, but successful.
We watched that thing where they were saying that you do community theater to make friends. You don't do it to make money or get famous. And it's so funny because I have these people on my Facebook that they're theater people like that, right?
Yeah.
And they're like shit talking to other people like, yo, you ain't doing it like us and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, you're not even making money, or you are in a small, no-name community theater. Like, don't talk shit until you're on.
Sell out crowd of our kids.
Yeah, don't talk shit until you can pay your bills from doing that shitty acting you're doing.
Don't do it like we do.
No. I've never liked theater acting. It's too
theatrical.
Yeah, it's too stupid. They say to shut the fuck up.
I don't know. Like Dracula and going to see the big Wicked, something like that. I can go see that, but I can't do like that over theatrical, over dramatic bullshit.
Sorry, I
couldn't do it.
I had an acting class in college, and it was like for theater, and I found that to be irritating because I was trying to do shit like genuinely. It was just acting as though I would act in life, and she was like, no, bigger. Project.
Yeah.
If they can't hear you in the back of the theater, you're not doing it right. Well, turn my fucking mic up.
Yeah, I'm mic'd, bitch.
Why do I have to yell everything?
Yeah.
That's why.
That's absurd.
Oh, will you hand me that? I'm right here.
I know.
I'm much more interested in where you can edit and you can, you know what I mean? And you can give drama and like shedding one single tear. It's like,
one single
camera
tear.
acting. Camera acting is so much better.
God.
It's a fist.
It's a man tear.
Okay.
tiny
man tear. Little tiny fist. But you know what I'm saying? I've just never been at and I don't think even in bigger theater, unless you're on Broadway, and you make a shitload there, but you don't do it like this little community thing. It's fun and shit, but you need to branch out and do other things. But I love it when they're like all high and mighty on their high horse and like, oh, you had 10 people show up to your show.
Well, and those are people who are like famous in their mind. That's
what I want to be. Famous in my mind.
They are the shit. Like everywhere they go, they're like, man, like here I am. Just
you're welcome.
You are welcome.
Where do you want me?
Yeah. Here's perfect, right? I know.
I know people like that.
Yeah,
like
they're
I
terrible.
know them, and it's terrible
pretty
to
much
be
everybody
around.
that was in theater class.
Yeah. Yep.
Except like the stage builders. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Oh shit! I've known some people in theater who were actually.
If they weren't building
fucking
stages, they'd probably be building skateboard ramps somewhere,
Yeah, smoking weed.
smoking weed, listening to Sublime.
I never forget the time
Yeah.
the couch just flung its body through a window. So good. It's just entirely limp, and he just.
It's awesome. Couch,
God.
one day you're gonna be on here.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
The
December?
Saturday after Thanksgiving,
Okay.
November 30th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Couch
it.
is locked in.
Oh, see, we
November
were just
30th,
thinking
done.
about that because he
Done.
watches the show.
Yeah.
He stays up. Like, why wouldn't we have him on here?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's November 30th.
I wondered
it's
why he
Saturday-
hadn't been on here.
Saturday after Thanksgiving.
It's the 30th.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, we're going to have the one and only Zach Couch.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody.
Zach Couch.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zach.
that one's awesome.
Couch.
I'm really excited about that one.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be fun. We should bring in a window for his
I
entrance.
say a fortune teller.
Oh, no.
Let's have a fortune teller.
A window for
Let's-
his entrance.
I want to read his fortune now, though.
I'll
we can
read
have
his
a window
fortune.
for his entrance, and then we need to let him know that he's going to die a horrible death
On that day.
on that day.
So the
It's going to be
Saturday,
at our hands.
the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool, man. Yeah, that'd be a nice one.
Yeah.
Good
I
little
look forward
adversity.
to it.
I've still been trying to bring in Dusty Lee, trying to catch the time where he's not busy.
Quit being busy, Dusty Lee.
Yeah.
Dusty Lee.
Man.
Busy neighbor.
Man.
Cut it out.
Eventually, we'll get him on here, and yeah, I think we need to start.
Pack it up
we're
and
gonna
go to
start
him.
Incorporate. Oh,
We could just
we could
like,
do that.
get a backpack, like
Oh,
for
yeah.
the shit, and you
Hell
know,
yeah.
we just like run around with mics.
You know, I had talked to another podcaster, which he stopped now. He was just tired of going around from show to show, but he would go to metal shows and go do his podcast like backstage, and he was doing really well
That's cool.
in Louisville. Yeah, he would just go around to different metal shows, and which I don't know the niche. Like, I don't know if that's a good
But you
niche
can
or
only
not.
talk to so many people with long hair and black clothes.
Yeah. How interesting does like death metal get? You know, how deep does the rabbit hole go? But he did really well. And
Skeletons.
he had like connections, and would go back to all these big venues and shit. And
Yeah.
that would be cool. We could set it up to where we could take. I mean, I could take this stuff right now.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could go do some. But that's why we want to do like the new show in the car, like the morning little deal,
The Clog.
just to like
That's right.
throw some
Yeah.
adversity
Like a
in.
Clog.
We'll just open up another channel and run another show. Even if we do in the beginning one every month or one every couple weeks, that's better. Just adding a little bit of adversity.
Did we talk about that at the beginning? Was that actually recorded, or was that before we
Oh,
started?
that was before we started.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I didn't know.
so the Clog was Sarah's idea. I don't
Yeah.
want to steal her thing.
That's right. The Clog. Maybe it was. No, I think
yeah, I
we
don't
were
know.
recording.
we-
It's so hard to remember things.
We'll go
I
back
have no
and fucking
idea.
settle this.
Is this happening now, or is this from the past?
I will say the one hard thing to do is like
It's
to
future.
remember what you talked about, 7 podcasts ago. That's one thing I try to watch out, not to talk about somebody so much. It's like Lil Uzi Vert has came out quite a bit.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying though. See how that's gotten stuck in my memory
Yeah.
because of how terrible I think he
Yeah.
is.
Indeed.
But how famous he became, and people actually, they don't think he's terrible. He's not famous for being terrible. They're like, he's the best shit. Remember we went to Up and Smoke, which is a smoke shop here in Louisville, and the guy that was working was telling us how fucking good
Oh, yeah.
and how 6ix9ine. He was
Yeah.
like 6ix9ine's the greatest thing. His fucking beats hit and all this. And then we brought up like real lyricists like T.I. and shit like that. He was like, oh, they're garbage.
Yeah, he
compared to this guy.
hated people who actually had talent.
Can you believe that? I
That
can't
seems
believe
weird.
it.
I mean, I can believe it, but it doesn't make any fucking sense.
What's the other guy that he said? The Gucci
God.
Gang guy.
Yeah.
Shit.
What is
you
his
know
name?
his name?
Good.
Lil
But-
Pump. Lil Pump.
Oh, okay.
Lil Pump.
Well, I've heard his name, but I don't know who the fuck he is.
But
Lil Pump. Gucci Gang. Gucci Gang. Lil Pump. That guy. But he has no lyrics whatsoever. They're terrible, but people really, they're not famous for being terrible.
I can understand
Well, they are.
maybe
They're just not actively.
liking one of them and being like, this is a guilty pleasure. I just so happen to like this terrible shit. Because I like some terrible shit. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it just can't help
Yeah,
it.
there's some things I'm ashamed to listen to while I get a shower because I think, well, Kayla's going to judge me.
Yeah. But genuinely, like, that's all you like is fucking awful nonsense is
Yeah.
crazy to
Mumble
me.
rap and nonsense bullshit.
You're
I can
doing
understand
a
it.
disservice to music.
Yeah, I can understand it for like the beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If the beat's hard and all that. Because
Looking
something
past
else
the
that
other
came
stuff.
out big that was crazy. And too bad Moby was born in a different time because techno
one
and
ever.
fucking, well, now they don't even call it techno. They call it EDM. Has became big. It don't have to have words or nothing. You could just put a bunch of random beats together.
Oh, yeah.
And my thing, they're like, well, it's harder than you think. Actually, it's not. If you know quarter notes, half notes,
Yeah, it's not.
eighths, 16ths, 32nds,
You got a thing
can
that'll
make
just
anything.
save that for you.
They
Plus,
have
all
this thing,
EDM has a thing where it has to stop and
a
then,
fucking Launchpad.
Yeah.
you know,
They have this
Exactly.
thing like they call it Launchpad, and really they're preset things, and you're just hitting the square. You're not even creating a rhythm, and it does it for you.
Oh,
And these
that's
people are like,
hard.
listen to my new EDM. Like, fuck you, dude. You're
How
not
do-
doing anything.
How do
while
people
for the
do
most
that?
part I agree with you, I'm also thinking about Wesley Willis right now.
Yeah.
Where he just has a little
Aw.
Casio keyboard and he would just, you know, it was the same beat every time.
Yeah, but he's great.
Yeah.
I
Plus,
can't
he was
think of
sweetly
their.
retarded,
Yeah.
so you can't shit on the guy.
I can't think of the guy right now, but it's a guy. He's always dressed as a nerd. He has these fucking stupid glasses on all
Oh, that
the time.
makes those.
Dude,
Yeah.
he actually travels now and makes these beats. He would just sit in his room and make them up, and he started off with nothing. Now he actually goes and does shows. He don't. It's awesome. I'll pull him up and I'll remember his name. I'll put it in the comment section. It's pretty fucking awesome. But he did it, and he did that. That's the kind of shit you do in your room when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
And he
He's
made
real
something
goofy
from it.
about it. Mhm.
Yeah, he knows it's goofy, but he's making a lot of money.
Hell yeah.
Also, if you're in the Louisville area on the 20th of November, Hobo Johnson's coming
That's
to town,
right.
baby, and the Love Makers.
Herbert Johnson.
Hobo Johnson, the motherfucking Love Makers.
Hey, this is another.
You going,
No, I don't give a fuck.
dude? He's
I
awesome.
still never listened to the guy.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He,
All right. Play me something after this, and then we'll see
Okay.
how it goes.
That's
will.
awesome.
'Cause, yeah, most of the time, whenever people recommend music to me, unless they play it for me right then,
You're not doing it.
I don't give a shit. And even when they do play it for me, then I just get bitter that they've cornered me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't get out
I
of
do that.
this.
I do that too when somebody's like, you gotta see it. Or they'll like, it's a video or something they thought was funny or some shit, and then they'll corner you with it and
Yeah.
be like, yo, listen, and you gotta watch the whole thing.
If it's under 2 minutes, I'll consider it.
Yeah.
If it's over 2 minutes, you're a piece of shit.
Don't you love it when it's like 10 minutes long and
I
you're like,
fucking-
you gotta be kidding me.
You jump to the good part. I did not commit to this.
not.
I would never do this
I just
to
want to
you.
punch them out and break their phone.
Just tell them you only have like 2 minutes. Like, I can't do this right now. I'm sorry.
See,
Maybe if I see
I
you
don't
again.
corner people with a long video. I'm just okay. Here's 5 movies that you have to watch
Yeah.
consecutively. Dig in,
Enjoy.
but on your own time, preferably this week.
right now. Leave here
Let's
this
do it.
conversation and do it. Start with the first one.
Yeah,
I like that people are different, but it also irritates me that I can't just yell my obscure shit to them
Yeah.
and say this is your life now.
like
They
this.
don't just accept it.
That's why people have kids.
Yes.
Oh yeah, man. They create the person that they want to talk to and stuff. You know that person is way too into their kids. Pretty much everybody on Facebook. Way too into their kid.
Way
They
too
dress
into them.
alike and they fucking like take a million pictures every month.
Yeah.
Put them on the little calendar.
Well, I feel like it also is helping
Ugh.
to capture their fleeting youth. They're like,
Yeah.
he looks,
Yeah,
he
man.
looks enough like me.
Yeah, they do. And then you know
It's
they
about to
look
do
back
such cool stuff.
and they watch their stuff. So then they start like living back here. So, and I had family members that lived through their kids because they weren't cute enough or they weren't popular enough,
Or their
and they
legs
try to
didn't
create their
work.
kid. Yeah, they try
poor
to push their kid into the, and that's like a widely known fact. But when you see it firsthand, it's very strange, and you know what's going on. It's like, come on.
I'm so grateful that mom and dad were not like that. They, whatever we said that we wanted to do, they're like, all right, cool. Well, let's do this now. They didn't try to make us do shit.
Realistically, it was just sports and music stuff. And
Yeah,
who
it's all-
doesn't like those things?
This is really all either one of us did.
I was lucky, which my parents never like pushed me to do anything. And if I wanted to quit, they were like, I guess we're going to quit.
Yeah.
But I will say the one good thing is like my dad was a sports guy. He was a poet. He was an artist. He was all those things wrapped in one. It was a wide range. So I wasn't tied down to the thought of, I got to play sports and that's it. Like I could write poetry. I could be emotional and I could be, you know, because they were.
Yeah.
And I thank them for that because I love learning a new thing every
That's why
week.
you're good at everything.
Yeah, because if I'm
Everything.
interested in
Does
it,
seem
I want to
be
learn
that
it.
way.
He is good at
What is he
everything.
shitty at?
Nothing.
Can he cook?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can cook, baby.
Uh-huh.
Damn it.
Let me
I
cook
can't
for
think
you,
of
dog.
anything that he cannot do.
And if I can't do it, I'm willing to be bad at it so that I can get. Oh, we were talking about this, about how talents.
He can't read.
Oh, I can read.
No, he can read.
I'm getting
it.
better at it too.
He can't. He can't spell very well. He has to ask me how to spell stuff a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think too on that is I second guess a lot and I spell the way it sounds sometimes, and that gets me in a lot of trouble.
It's a good starting point.
I think because
Yeah.
I'm like I don't want to think about it, so I know I can ask Sarah.
Plus, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
So I know
clearly
my
the
way
way of
out.
the future.
Well, and
So everybody else is going to do it. Fuck
even
it.
even
Your
with
brain's just
stuff
gonna do
that he asks me how to spell, he'll be writing it and he'll spell it out, and then I say it, and he's like, oh, "Okay, yeah."
Because it doesn't look right. You
Like,
know what I mean?
Yeah. I've had that sometimes. Like, you spell it, you know it's right.
You know it's
Yeah.
right, but it
You're like,
doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through.
But we talked
Through.
about this,
Okay.
and when people talk about talents, right? So it's usually at a younger age, they're like, you have these talents, whatever, because you can do this good, and you're very young doing it.
Right?
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah, just push the red button on the back. But so they you know, you're just good at it at a young age and all that shit.
Yeah.
My thing is, I don't think talents are something that's just a gift given to you at the beginning of your age. I think that some people are faster learners to a talent they want to learn, but I think all talents have to be worked at. They have to be. You're not just given something. You're like, this is what you're doing. I think you have to learn talents, and I think that's something that was when I was growing up was good, is because I was interested in all this shit, and they all became talents because I was willing to be bad at them. You know what I mean?
Well, and a lot of times with things that you're good at, it's like it's how your brain functions. So, are you more right-brained or left-brained? And the more different type of stuff you do, the more you're using both parts of your brain, so the more stuff you can do. It's like basically being able to think critically is what that comes down to. Your
Right.
brain can function at a different level.
Well, and
in a sense.
I think when the more you learn,
What?
the more you can
He's talking now.
the more you can like shape other things into that. So like if I was going to teach a monkey how to read, I would put it in the form of bananas. That's a
Yeah.
a stupid way to put it, but I would put it in his language.
Yeah.
Let it beat off after every paragraph.
Yes, that's
So
exactly how you do
It's
it.
like
Good job.
I learned drums by relating it to guitar, and then I'm trying to learn piano in relation to drums. You know, as far as beat goes and timing, and so on and so forth, and recording and doing video. Like it's because I relate one to the other. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I learned this way. I just got to be really terrible at it, and I got to do, just shape it to what makes sense to you, and then you can learn it.
Hell yes. Okay,
I
what?
was doing the thing. Well, no, it's not like in school and stuff. I always hated whenever you would get to the part of the questioning where it's like critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like at the time, I hated that because it's like, why can't I just write down the fucking facts and then what I know is enough?
Yeah.
But now it's like, oh yeah, we need the critical thinking
Hell
because
yes.
most people don't think about shit at all.
No, they do not. I don't know. Somewhere along the way, like common sense, critical thinking, deducing, it went out the window.
So I
People.
feel like common sense was probably never really a thing. So if that's the case, then the masses wouldn't rely on the minority for employment and technological advances and medical stuff. So
I don't know.
think the common setting is stupid.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm good with that.
We're just
I'm on board.
hunter-gatherers that occasionally make planes.
Yeah. Occasionally, we just have. Oh,
Yeah.
that guy went away.
Good, fuck him.
Yeah, I think I can get on board with that. The general setting is stupid.
Yes.
No, I'm just lucky for that. I do wish,
Kind
though,
of makes me
as
think
I
I'm part of it.
went to college
Saddens me
and
a little
shit, is I wish that I did apply myself more as far as school, because I wouldn't apply myself until I was truly in love with what I was doing. Like CAD, I applied everything I had to. I love computer drafting and Inventor. Like I love those things. So I would skip
That's good.
the whole day. And then I would come back for sixth period, which nobody did that. I was like, yo, I got to get back for this class. I liked it.
Is it better
Everything
to be
else.
well-rounded or to chase your passions like intensely?
Most people say chase your passion intensely, because you give everything to it, it's going to give everything back to you. If you I've been told, but I've learned guitar, drums. I'm, in the process of learning piano. I was always told, like, no, you wouldn't be able to
process. You already know how to play that.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but I want to really get better at it.
A little bit.
But they say, like, I had a friend tell me, it was like, you can't focus on all those at one time. But it goes back to the relating. Well, if I can relate them all together, I can, stay on top of all of them at the same time. Yes. But anyways, he said you couldn't. You have to, like, learn one, and then you'll get really good at it. And then other people will tell you in the successful whatever trade they're in, they'll be like, well, you have to focus on one, because if you don't give it all your attention, it won't return value to you.
I think it depends on what you're doing. I think being well-rounded is really important, because
Me too. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. In no way am I a master of anything, but
you can do a lot.
Yeah. And I catch on quickly. I've always been that way, and I'm well-rounded. I've done a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of stuff, so I can apply my past knowledge and experiences to essentially anything and figure that stuff out. But definitely for, like, if starting a company for that example, if you were like, okay, well, I like all these things, I'm going to start 12 different companies. Like,
I've got an umbrella corporation.
When you look at it like in that light, for sure. But
I think it definitely just depends on the situation.
Yeah. I think it depends on what you're doing and how closely related those things are together. But as far as, like, that's what's I read somewhere, I think maybe, I don't know who I was listening to, because I've tried to stay away from listening to, like, the motivational speakers, because I've learned that all they're doing is, like, trying to make better employees. Like the most famous ones, they're only famous and they're only paid well because they're pumping out good employees.
Robots.
Because what
Gary
they preach,
V, man. Gary V.
But Gary V, he's an exception, because he's, like, all about entrepreneurship, right? But all these other ones, they're like, be a really, really good employee and work really hard at your trade, and then eventually you could be the owner of the, it's like,
what color is your parachute?
Yeah, man. But I believe that your passion is something that it's not gonna, like, slap you in the face. It's gonna whisper, and you're gonna have to, like, okay, try a bunch of shit until it just catches. Oh, this is what it was screaming in the back of my head for so long. I finally get it. But I don't know. I don't know if anybody has a passion. Like, I don't know.
Anybody.
No, I don't know if anybody just comes out and they're like, this is what. I think some people just get lucky and they tried their passion, like, at a young age.
On, it was like the first thing they tried, and they're like, good, I'm good to go.
This is it. I didn't know.
They're just content with shit.
But a lot of other people, they're just not, as you said, you have to be well-rounded to find that passion within the madness, which is the world, and the options that are presented in the world. You have to try out a bunch of different shit until you find that, oh, this is it. I want to pursue this passionately.
And the people who don't try a bunch of different shit are the people who are completely, absolutely miserable in what they do. Also,
right.
They're like, well, this is just what I'm doing.
It's
like,
true,
they're not, like, the only people who are like that, but
it makes me think of people that don't really say a lot of funny stuff, and then they get upset that what they say isn't funny.
Yeah.
It's like the whole failure thing. It's like, if you want to be funny, say 100 things.
Eventually.
30 of them are going to be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And be okay with that.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we were talking about a lot. So many people suffer in quiet desperation because you have to do it that way. There's so much social pressure to be in that little box. And you were saying about looking up for different jobs and seeing how terrible they were. I know people personally that get 5 different jobs in the same year, and each one of those jobs are like, okay, say it's fast food. Well, then they're going to like McDonald's. They're like, so I'm going to have such an amazing, this is the change I needed. And then a month later, okay, they're bored again and they're unhappy. So they go to Taco Bell, and then same thing. So happy, this is my life-changing event.
Why is this hamburger crumbly?
And that's, so they get on, they keep doing that same thing, going back into the same thing that they're doing, not realizing it's the same exact thing, just a different name. So you're never going to be happy until you do something that truly lights your flame.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
knows? Maybe wearing the purple of Taco Bell is better for their mind than the yellow of McDonald's.
Look, it's something like that very well could impact someone's like state of mind for sure. I think
but
it's
to the level of
generally
like making
not,
you forget
yeah, but
occasionally.
work somewhere terrible.
yeah, no.
That
Well,
your
like,
life
that's
sucks.
like when we were talking about that, it's what like people who cheat on people, not everyone, but people who cheat on people, they're excited like, oh, this is going to be great.
Pretty much all of them.
It's
You're right.
exciting. It's fantastic. I love this person so much. Well, it's new. You don't know them. You're not living life with a companion anymore. You're, you just got a Ferrari. Like it's something fucking exciting. That will fade as well.
So if you're playing a video game and you're just like recklessly on your own, you've got somebody with like a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they're fucking shit up too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Hell
then
yes.
the next match, they're not that great.
No, because they
And
don't
this-
have the rocket
We were an
launcher.
unlikely match, and where we met was a weird place.
Yeah.
But I will say that I've been in a lot of 20 some odd people that I know for a fact, like every single time it got to a point where it was like, okay, now we're actually in the relationship.
Yeah.
And they took off. I got cheated on quite a lot growing up. And it was because of that fact. Everybody it cools off. There's a cool off period where it's just like, yo, we're in a life. We're 2 people sharing a space, right?
Yeah.
Well, it gets to that. But when you find that person that you're truly connected with, that space isn't as boring or it doesn't make you look everywhere. I haven't looked at somebody else like, yo, I want to like hammer the shit out of that in a very long time.
Yeah. Right.
And it's because, you get that cooling off period with somebody that it's just like, yo, this is me. Like I can be me.
Yeah.
Like, but a lot of people just look for that, that's the world we live in right now.
They need those few like weeks or months or whatever it
that-
is of essentially adrenaline.
Yeah,
is
movie matinee, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
movie
They're like,
matinee.
oh, it's like a
Matinee.
drug. And
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
Oh, it's same.
Aw.
and then the
That's
drug's
the same
less
thing.
good
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
I
called
need-
tolerance.
Now I need twice as much. I'll find her twin.
You gotta love when you see that person on Facebook that's like they just got out of a crappy relationship with somebody
yeah.
that clearly you're like, yeah, I know this person by the way they look.
Yeah.
But then they'll be like, got with a new guy within like a month or so, and
Like,
he looks
I love
just
him
like
so
him.
much. It's my
This is the
heart and
one.
soul.
He's my
Yeah.
everything.
I've realized you can also tell a lot about a person by their eyebrows and the kind of dog that they hold in their pictures.
Yeah.
It's like if it's a wiry dog and like their eyebrows are kind of like not cool looking, shitty person.
For sure. I would like to bring up John Witherspoon.
Houston. Oh yeah,
No,
John
man.
Witherspoon.
Yeah.
John
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
Witherspoon.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
That bummed me out.
He was 77.
No.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh my
I
god.
told her earlier in the week, but she has forgotten.
You did not tell me that.
Yeah, I said the dad from Friday because I couldn't remember his name.
You did not tell me that.
She's
So you done
distraught.
fucked up, son.
Yeah, man, he died at 77.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
I love him.
Oh, I know,
Yeah, he
dude.
was awesome.
All American dad right there, dude. I
Son
fucking love
of a
that guy.
bitch.
He always played that same general
Show
character, but
ass,
was
Mr.
so
Postman.
so good at it. Yeah. Sorry, I did want to bring that up
I'm
because
bummed out
I know,
now.
it's crap.
yeah, that's sad. It's sad to see a man like that leave this earth. You know,
Yeah,
that's
he was
the shitty
fantastic.
part about it. When people leave this earth, that really made this huge impact. Because let's face it, everybody knows him. You know, it's a sad moment, man.
Fucking
When
eating
you feel
grapes.
that energy leave a little bit, it's just like fuck, man. You can feel that leave the earth. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
something that just fucking happens. Another thing that I do want to bring up, I
So
want to
bring
talk
it
about,
up.
because I love this guy.
I just want to thank these people. Just thank them.
Yeah. So
He's gonna hit you.
the
get fucked
childhood wonder that we all have when we're kids, like anything's possible, right? You remember that? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember when just childhood was like anything, like rockets are possible?
I still hold on to like 4% of that.
Yeah. Do you? That's something I was talking to her
I'm
about.
about
I want to.
80%.
I'd like to really focus on like taking myself back to childhood and thinking, because I used to think outside myself when I was a kid. To get away from my whatever situation, I would think outside the box in my head, right? And then I used to build like little contraptions and shit just to try to work things out in my head. But somebody who is like truly childlike is Elon Musk. The more I look into this guy, at first I was like, he's just, whatever. He ain't all that.
He's just an
Fucking
eccentric rich
PayPal
dude.
and shit. Like, come on, man. But the dude is truly childlike.
Yeah.
But he's making the shit that he's thinking of come to life. Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing to watch it happen. Shooting the Tesla into space
I
and
was
shit.
thinking, hey man,
That's
you know
a
what would be
childhood.
cool? Let's put one of our cars in space. Why? It'd be cool.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? What else are we doing?
Yeah.
So he has this. He
Focus
wanted
more
to
on making
create,
profits.
which I don't know how this is supposed to work out, but I guess it gets rid of all the cell towers and shit. But he wants to create a network. I think it was called Starlink. Starlink is a company he's making. He sent the
That is
first
what it's
email from it, from the first satellites put out. But it creating this network, this mesh net of fucking satellites in space, like lower Earth orbit, and send like the internet, all that shit is connected in this way instead of like through our cell towers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to pollute the Earth with all these radioactive cell towers.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, man. There was a few things, but I just like his childhood wonder. But he wants
That's
to
cool.
he wants to use rockets or spaceships, right?
Yeah.
Space shuttle ships, the ones that can take off and then land in the same spot that they come, to transport people like around the world. When you want to go around the world, you can get in this rocket instead of an airplane and get there in like 30 minutes
Yeah.
compared to 17 hours.
Hell
I feel
yeah.
like I'd probably puke.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you'd have to have training before you did that, right? You have to work your way up.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
only certain
Nice.
people could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any get on those circular kind of rides at like fairs and shit? And I'm like, nah, I'm like,
Yeah. We rode the, what is it, the Gravitron or whatever the fuck it is, right after he got out of prison. And I immediately, like, as soon as I got off, I puked. Through the whole thing, I was like, oh, God, please don't let me throw up in here. Please don't let me
So-
throw up in here.
But no, he's gonna send them that way. We all know he's gonna try to send people to Mars. But he said in an interview that if you're one of the first ones to go to Mars, you have to be ready to like sign a waiver saying like, yeah, you're gonna
You're
die.
going to die.
Yeah.
He was like, the first ones are pretty much accustomed to the fact that they're gonna die, right? But the thing, you know how he's all like, his big thing is like AI, and that we have to have a subset of people that govern AI, because if it gets into the wrong hands or if the wrong people can do whatever they want with it, it's
You
gonna
have to have the shit in place before it actually takes off.
right because it's coming. He was like, they just have to govern it before it gets here and set it in place before it gets here, so nobody militarizes the shit out of it and takes over the world. But
It's definitely going to happen.
but no.
Yeah.
The
feels
right
that way.
people are not going to have this.
So what we had
No.
talked about
No.
like AI taking over, and then that replaces like humans, and then we go back to being what we were in the beginning of the Sony, like just humans doing human things instead of like working in the factories. So it's a thing called Neuralink, right?
Right.
So he wants to implant brain chips, AI brain chips, to create pretty much like a supercomputer of your brain, right?
Yeah.
So your brain can think like a supercomputer, so that we're on the same wavelength as AI.
That's
So
pretty cool.
implant these chips
Yes.
so that brain works alongside of AI, so that you don't just become, I think he called it a house cat to AI. He doesn't want to become that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these these brain chips help you do that.
They should also implant something that, like, with specific orders, it shuts down. That way they can't be weaponized.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That would be a wonderful idea.
And if you're, you get the brain chip, like you say, you'd be shut down to that fact. If you can like have a digital aspect to it, so anything that the brain comes up with can be in the physical world, stuff like that makes the world, anything would be possible at that point. If you can implement brain chips into people's brains and have them think on the same level as a supercomputer, can you imagine the possibilities that the world would have? Like, we'd be interstellar travel.
I feel like
in matter no
it's
time.
gonna end up negative.
Oh,
I like the
at
idea
first,
of it.
I think at first for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how long do you think it'll take until it's not
If we don't, bomb ourselves back to extinction, it probably like 20, 30, 40. No, well, think about the time from like the 20s till now and the Industrial Revolution, all that.
Yeah.
We're still Stone Age compared to where we should be because we're too busy fighting for territory.
Well, if we're too busy fighting over everything.
Yeah.
Like, just I figure it's going to be a couple 100 years minimum.
Something that
Yeah.
something that dawned on
20,
me.
30 generations.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time.
Something that dawned on me. We just invaded somewhere, which is shitty. I don't know this, but invaded and took down a
Somewhere, who
world leader,
cares?
or they called him a terrorist.
Was it the
he's a leader.
ISIS man?
Yeah, the ISIS guy. And it makes you wonder, how like they were like shutting down Hitler because he wanted world domination, and then shutting down I don't know none of their names right now. Stalin, stuff like that, like because they wanted to be world leaders and stuff. Do you think that we're just like bullying people because
Of course we are.
we want to be world leaders?
Leader, yeah,
Why else
sure.
do you think we spend like 3 times more than every other country
Yeah.
on defense? It's because we want to just take everything.
Like everybody has to be our ally, or we're gonna defeat you
Yeah.
with our allies.
So when people talk about like
Always.
the deficit and all this shit, like, oh, we owe countries trillions of dollars. It's like, why the fuck do you think we have the military that we do?
Yeah.
It's like, come and take it. You want some of this?
Yeah.
We'll all die
Yeah.
before you get your fucking money, bitch.
Hell yeah.
See, ain't that
That's exactly what it is.
it's crazy to think about it, but we have a group of people in the United States that want to be world leaders,
Oh, yeah.
and you could be a world leader without doing that. You just have everybody in a stronghold and say, if you come at us, we're just going to bomb the shit out of you, and your people are going to suffer.
It's like that asshole in Monopoly that has everything. I mean, yeah, you can continue to live freely, but, just give me my money.
Just my money.
Go to
and
jail.
That's what it is. And you think about it, though, even if they're your allies, right? So you got a bunch of allies, and you piss off the right one, right? Don't you think that all these allies in secrecy would be like, look, here's the grand plan.
Yeah.
We're all going to pretend like we're friends with
Don't tell America.
the United States. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, we're all going to band together and we're going to beat the shit out of this bully. It's like all the nerds coming together to beat up the bully that's been beating the shit out of them for
Hell
years.
yeah.
And then France backs out, and everybody thinks it's doomed, but then Texas rises up and
That's
says, we
right.
are America.
Yeah.
America.
And
like
then Texas wins.
It's like the Shanda Sharon shit
Nice.
that happened. That girl got stabbed by those 3 girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. And she'd have no idea what's happening.
Too brutal.
Yep, and we'd
Yeah,
just
man.
all be dead.
I don't know. That's
Fucking awful.
Just terrible.
I definitely think either way it goes, in the beginning of the AI uprising, it's gonna be kinks that need to be worked out. People are gonna use it for the wrong. They're gonna have to invade people to get it back because they're gonna be like, we got to take this out of your hands because you're gonna. But when you think about it, when things are operating at this high level and you can have robots that can physically move and think for themselves and rebuild themselves better, it's gonna happen. Like, you know what I mean? You just got to deal with it. We'll deal with it when it comes, because whatever you do right now is not gonna help. It's gonna happen.
I feel like the idea that we'll reach a balancing point where everything's cool. It's like, oh, we can make anything that we want. Everybody's working as one. That feels like hubris to me.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're humans and we can make pretty much anything.
Yeah.
But it always goes to shit because somebody finds a way to use it for negative purposes.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like our our limited lifespan is kind of a blessing because you have to have limitations.
Yeah,
because then if everything is possible and you can make everything, then you get somebody that's having a shit day.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you got a fucked up weapon. And it's like, now anybody can just 3D print this. It's like, oh god.
Yeah.
And then we're fucked.
That's why they said that it was shit. I don't know. So I was gonna say something. I was like listening. I was like, I had it in the back. Yeah, I forgot it.
I really don't like the idea of that, like a chip in our brains that allows us to be. No.
I kind of like that idea.
I'm down with it.
That shit doesn't need to happen.
It would help you solve
it would go
problems.
horribly awry as long as
because they could control you as well.
If somebody hacks your brain.
Yeah, I'll pass.
So possible.
It's like, we're gonna need more of this chemical excreted or whatever the fuck it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of adrenaline and shit.
All those Android devices getting hacked. You'd be like those Android devices. Fucking, hey, download this into your brain real quick, man. And it'll give you like free coins
just
for this
fucking
game.
Melt.
And you just like melt down.
Yeah, I think it's a terrible fucking
Everybody
idea.
at this Steelers game gets a free adrenaline rush.
I mean, they do it now. You think of how like quick the internet went to shit and how they use it now. Even now, they openly use it to do that. You know, it's gonna happen, but I believe that there's good in it. Like you can figure out interstellar travel, interstellar communications, all that with a supercomputer 10 times, 100, a million times faster than you could if you had all the top scientists trying to do it at one time.
Absolutely. I think like that idea though, where there's the potential for good, and it's potential for like massive good, but the fact that I don't think that it would work out like that, and it could just be that I'm a pessimist and I feel like humans are shit. It's always going to end in terribleness. Like that's our timeline always in my head.
Oh, you were saying here, hold on. You were saying about people living for longer and stuff, and that's why we're in the situation we are now, is because the health has gotten so much better because people are living to 80, 90, 100, and that's why we have climate issues and overcrowding, and because they're not dying quick enough.
Yeah.
Well, and because they just seem to not want to sterilize people
and
let them have as many fucking kids as they want. Like, this is absurd.
You should not be able to have 10, 12 kids.
No, it's unnecessary.
And
unless
what about,
you're Amish.
You can max out at 4. I'll let you have 4.
4 is a big number.
Yeah, but not everybody wants 4.
Well, see, I feel like it's just a matter of what lifestyle you live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you live off of the earth, and you do that kind of shit and you live a natural existence, great.
Yeah.
Have fun. But, everybody that wants everybody in the house has to have a car. We all have to have TVs. Everybody needs a smartphone.
Yeah.
That fucks up the balance of natural resources.
I'll take it back.
Suplex somebody.
I'll give you 3 because that replaces both people, and then you get another in case
one dies. Or
and in case like say you have 2 boys and you wanted a girl, I'll give you another shot to get that girl.
But if it's a boy, we're aborting it for you.
Yes.
I'll even let that little motherfucker live, but I just don't think
first abortion's free.
Yeah, it's on the house. I just don't understand why this hasn't happened yet. Why is sterilization not happening? Can we not have some kind of test? And if you don't know how to budget or raise a child,
if you're gonna be nothing but a burden to society,
if you don't know that Kroger is cheaper than the convenience store, no children.
No children. Nope, not happening. It's just so fucking stupid. Yeah.
I'd like to end it on abortion.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I agree with
abortion?
it. It goes for your pussy ears. It rhymes with smorshing clinic.
Smorshing. That's right.
No, man, but sterilization. We'll end it on that for sure. Because I'm totally down with sterilization. I think there's a lot of people out there that I watch them on Facebook, and it's like, you're pregnant again, dude. Yeah. This is like the 10th one.
Yeah, can we stop? I feel like if
you're not offering anything to society right now.
If you didn't graduate a high school or get a GED, you don't get to have kids.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Don't put in GED and don't put in...
no, because I GED is valid.
Come on.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
It can be if you're motivated.
And because you don't
McDonald's.
look, if you don't graduate high school and then you make the choice to go and get your GED, that's a personal decision that you
Right.
made to better your life.
Right.
I'm okay with that. So if you didn't graduate high school or get a GED, you don't get a kid.
No good for you. But they should be sterilized after 3. I believe that.
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
And it's like that one you were telling. We know about
Mm-hmm.
that she has like 3 or 4 kids. She's on her 5th one, but she don't even have custody of
She
4
doesn't
of
have
them.
custody of all the
None of
others
them.
that she's had.
But they're gonna let her have another one.
yeah.
And
Nope.
fuck that one up too.
Sorry.
No,
if
fuck
you
that.
lost custody
Think about
and
that
were
burden.
never able to regain custody of the first one, sterilized. You don't get
That's
it
when I
anymore.
think those people should just be kidnapped and then secretly cloned at an accelerated rate, and then you put the good clone back in
In
their
its
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that goes back
That's
to the
awesome.
critical thinking, though. We think critically. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
it's better for the many instead of just that one or just your self-seeking, self-satisfying, whatever,
Yeah.
then, fuck it, dude. Kill them. Kill them
Yeah.
off.
Let's be
Kill 'em all.
done with them. It's fucking ridiculous.
Cool, man. That
Yeah.
wraps up another episode.
Yeah,
This is
wraps it up.
31
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Wildly Uninteresting Podcast. We appreciate all our listeners. If you could, you didn't even got to like or comment. Just share this video so that we can gain new listeners, new followers
Yeah,
and
spread
stuff.
the word. We're tired of talking to the same motherfuckers.
Hey, but also
Nah.
comment because
I don't
I
care.
enjoy when we get a
Yeah.
comment. I like it.
Also, if you want to be a guest, if you don't even have to be that interesting, if you want to be a guest, send a private message or
Yeah.
just
If
comment.
you don't mind being talked down to,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on.
If you just want to come talk shit, come do it. Just put it in the comments. Give me your information.
If
We'll
you feel
hook
like
it up.
getting offended, come on down.
But we do appreciate our listeners. That was another episode. Thank you.
Thanks. Bibbidi-bop-bop-bop, skibbity-skip-skip-skibbity-bop, skibbity-bop,
Wildly
skibbity-bop-bop,
uninteresting.
boppity-bop-bop.